Okay, we're live.
We're live, really? Already?
It's Thursday. Can you believe it already?
No, I'm not. I mean, I wasn't
Another
ready for
Thursday.
Thursday. Like, I
Another.
wasn't ready for today at all, was not ready. Like, it just came out of nowhere and just appeared, and lots going on this week. Lots happening.
Lots happening. So
Yes.
first off, I want to apologize that I'm not in my regular office space. I literally just got in out of the car from Florida Realtors Convention. So I am like in full relax mode. Spent the last, what has been 3 days now doing education sessions. There was over 32 education sessions over the 2 days. And then there was a full day of rebar camp. So this is my relax mode. This is my home office. Excuse the mess back here. This isn't mine.
I was like, that doesn't belong to me.
That's my dad's business. That's where he runs the whole business out of, is that one desk. So not my best.
Not yours.
Not
I
mine. Not mine.
am excited to have you back. And you did a lot of continuing education classes this last week. So lots of new information will be coming the next couple sessions that we're doing on Thursday nights.
Let me tell you though, if you are an iPad user, before we jump into our listing thing, uh, notes on iPad. I don't know if you can see that. You can't really
Glare.
see it. It's glared.
Good
But
for notes.
good
Is
for
that what
notes
happened?
4. Let me turn off this light for a second. There we go. Can we see it now? Good for notes 4. You can create these notebooks in here. So like I have one
Yes.
for convention, and then I just took my notes with my Apple Pencil. And I can tell you, like, it's pretty darn good. I can highlight this little caption thing up here I took from WordSwag and just imported. But
That's awesome.
I'm a huge note taker. So I went normal convention. I'll normally go through a notebook or two. Now I have unlimited pages. It's literally one click and bring it right
Well,
in
that's
there.
like my thing with like my notes. Like I always like I'm going to totally go back and retype these as I read them, and that never happens.
You want to know this,
Let's be honest.
the cool thing about this one? You take this like little what I call dancing ants. It's just like a bunch of dotted lines, and go around your notes and click convert, and they'll transcribe it right into a Word document for
See?
you.
Like that's exactly what you need. And then like because I know I take different notes than you're going to take or the person sitting next to
Yeah.
you. So then you can switch notes and have double the notes, right? I mean,
Great that you bring that up. There was a guy sitting next to me yesterday in one of the morning sessions, and I'm like sitting here taking notes on my iPad, taking notes, and he goes, "How are you doing that? I have one of these stick thingies," and he holds up his Apple Pencil. He's like, "I don't know how to use this. Like, how do you do that?" So I set him up on Good for Notes, and I'm like, "Here, we want to see something cool." He's like, "Well, can you send me your notes after I'm done?" I'm like, "Well, I can AirDrop you where I'm at right now." So I airdropped him that, and the guy followed me around for the rest of the
oh, I
day.
bet you he did. He's like, hey, I need
He's
all
like,
this
I
great
need
information.
you.
That's
Good for
awesome.
notes. So if you're on iPad, good for notes. A lot of conventions are coming up. I highly recommend using it.
Yeah, that's great. So what are we talking about tonight, Frankie? Are we talking about bad MLS listing photos?
Bad MLS listing photos, bad photos in general, and maybe some apps and tips that could help you spruce up your MLS photos a little bit.
Yes. So I don't know about you, but quite often, like I'm in several real estate groups across social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see people posting, well, I came across this gem today, and it's like a photo, an actual listing photo that's in the MLS. And some of them, not quite sure what we were thinking when we put them in. So we want to make you not be that agent.
Not be that agent. Not be that agent. Well, we'll start off with this. If you can afford a professional photographer, pay for it. Please. Your sellers will love it. Your buyers will just it helps the listing sell so much faster.
So
Now,
my perspective on that is I'm a realtor. I am not a photographer. Leave it to the professionals. Let the professional photographer take the photos.
now my thing of that is I'm a professional photographer. I used to shoot weddings. I still do every once in a while. So for me, it's like send the business my way. I know how to do houses. Houses are pretty simple. And, a lot of our agents at our office can tell you when they have a house that's regularly shot versus professionally shot, the amount of days on market reduces, and
Yes,
that property normally pens a lot faster.
absolutely.
And that's especially just the regular photography and occasional drone shots if you can get someone
Absolutely.
that's permitted now.
So we have an app for iMoto Photo. I don't know if you guys have iMoto Photo in your location, but iMoto Photo is like a national company, and they're not everywhere, but they do have them in most locations. So you can go straight into the iMoto Photo app and you can download and order your photos and everything and schedule your photo sessions. So you can do that. I highly recommend that. My office, I have a photographer that goes out for my agents and shoots everything. But if you can't afford the $150 for listing photos, we're going to give you some apps or tips or tricks in order to make your listing photos look a little better and not be that agent that's posting horrendous MLS photos.
Horrendous. And you know, with the professional photography thing, pretty much any photographer can do listing photos. But worst case scenario is you hire a college student, and that's where I would personally start. Give them a lower end listing to start with that they can play and mess around with. Hopefully it's vacant and there's not an owner there. Just because the first couple houses, it takes a little bit to get used to. But once that, you can pretty much shape that college student that's trying to do photography into a good photographer at that point. And you know, you just got a really good deal from a college student because they'll take anything.
Right? I mean, they need to eat a dinner that night, so I'm sure they'll do their photos a little bit cheaper.
So you don't always have to find like the best professional in your area. You can always start with that college student, shape them into what you need to be, and then, you know, eventually it will just grow from there on that. Absolutely.
So I'm 200 rentals. So I let my photographer that wanted to get into real estate photography. She's been doing like newborns and that kind of stuff. She wanted to get into real estate photography. So I let her practice on my rentals where I don't exactly need super professional photos, and let her practice on those and get really good at those. And now I let her do all the listings for, you know, all of our agents that come in. So it's exciting.
So much easier. And especially on vacant property. So I tell all the agents when they're like, when I'm booking a session, I'm like, is it going to be vacant? Because if it's vacant, I can get in and get out.
Yes. Yes. And then if it's vacant, you also don't have those bad MLS photos where there's somebody sleeping in the bed or sitting on the couch or in the background or, you know, in the corner where you think you kind of missed them, but they're actually still in the photo.
And that brings us into a great segue, you know, what not to do. Toilet bowl seat. That's a big thing. Toilet bowl seat.
Put the lid down, people.
It's so simple. I even go as far as removing the toilet paper sometimes from the roll.
Yes.
Taking that out. Removing clutter from a bathroom. So moving out if they have a brush or if they have like the carpet on the floor in front of, pull the carpet up or something, just clean it up a little bit.
Yes.
Towels on the rack if they're not, how would you say, they're not perfectly in line
or they're
perfectly organized.
Towels from the shower they took the day before. Don't take them out. Yeah, don't take those photos. This is an instance where less is more. The less that's on the counter, whether it be the bathroom or kitchen or whatever it might be, less is more in this situation.
I mean, there's times that there's times that I'll go into a house with an agent and I'm like, okay, all of these bath products need to be removed.
Yes.
So we'll bring Tupperware bins, fill up the Tupperware bin, put it in the bedroom, shoot the photo, put everything back.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Sometimes you have to. You know, I was talking to an agent that's like, I have a family of a lot that I'm going to be listing, and I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. And I was like, declutter. You're going to meet with them, have that hard conversation. They're going to need to declutter and put a lot of personal items up and, you know, put as much away as you can. You're going to have to pack it to move it anyways. You might as well get a head start on the packing.
Correct. And I do have a list of like a to send to your client beforehand, so I'll get that out to you guys if you guys want it.
Like a pre-photo shoot checklist.
Yep, it says your home is about to be professionally photographed. Here is a list of stuff that we recommend doing.
Absolutely. I would recommend giving that to every client. But in the event that you cannot afford a professional photographer, still give them that list, and we'll give you some apps to do a little bit of your own editing. Not that that's the best route to go, but if you have to go that route, you know, you might have to. We'll give you some apps to download and use.
Yes. First tip, if you're using your phone, don't shoot this way, shoot this way.
Yes.
MLS does not like vertical photos.
No, they don't.
For some reason, it will transfer out to your realtor.com, it will transfer out to your Trulia, and your vertical photo will now become this size.
Yes.
Super zoomed in.
Yes.
So you always want your horizontal photos to be taken.
Agreed on that. And a lot of websites don't even take the horizontal photos either. I know that my website for my property management company will kick it out if it's vertical. It won't even allow me to upload it.
Good to know. Good to know with that.
So what apps do you like to use, Frankie?
So if I'm an agent, say that I'm an agent, I'm going to shoot property. I'm going to shoot it with my regular phone, save it in my camera roll. From there, I'm a big fan of Visco, VSCO. I use that a lot because, all of my selfies are all edited with the same set of filters. There's a filter roll in there that you can use the specific filters, but there is also a full back end of editing. So clarity, highlights, saturation, sharpening, all of that, brightness, you can change all of that stuff right there in the physical Visco app. I see MLS photos with filters applied to them. Have you seen any of that?
Yes.
That you're like, oh, look, they put it through Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't
do that.
Don't do that. No.
Please
so
don't.
Visco is one of my favorites. You can even resize it if your MLS has a specific size regulation. Ours does. It only accepts photos between a certain size and a certain size.
Yep.
So you can resize it right there in Visco for you. And Visco is a free app, but there is a freemium version that you pay a yearly fee for, and I think it's like $20 for the year. And that unlocks all of your filters. So if you're a filter freak like I am, and I like to use all different filters and change things, you can save your filters right in there and use them.
Absolutely. So
multi-purposing.
A lot of people may not know, but there's actually a website called iPhonePhotographySchool.com. Who knew? Who knew that they needed a whole website just for iPhone photography? But on iPhonePhotographySchool.com, they'll tell you the top 10 best apps to download for editing photos. Mm-hmm. So one of the apps that I love to use is actually their number one recommended app is called Snapseed. Snapseed is amazing. It's a free app. You don't have to pay for it or anything, but you can create filters. You can change the exposure. You can change colors. You can sharpen images. You can actually change the lighting. So if it's really dark in there, you can actually pick the light filter and it'll brighten that photo up for you, which sometimes you're in a listing that doesn't have power and you need that extra lighting. So it's a free app. It's great. It's available in your app store. I use it all the time. It's a great app.
I like that one. The other one is, I think it's Agent Snap. Let me find that real quick. Agent Snap, you take the photo with Agent Snap. It's pretty much like that one also. It's Agent Snap app. It is a paid one. I know they do have a free one. It just puts a little watermark in the corner, but I would invest in it if you're going to. You simply take the photo and it will, if it's distorted, it will fix the distortion. It will change the sky. So if it's dark out, it's going to lighten the stuff up. Check that one out. I'm reading their website right now. Vertical correction. If you have an attached lens to your phone, they correct that. HDR, that's what it is. High dynamic range. So that takes multiple photos at all different light things and produces the perfect light. So it does the HDR for it.
Awesome.
So it turns because sometimes those windows they'll white out completely.
Yes.
And people want to see that. The HDR helps you fix that. So you can have those clear photos of the outside and they're not this bright white light coming out of the window. So when you
have the background in the window and the actual outside, please don't have your car in that photo.
Very true, very true.
I see that all the time. And they're taking a picture from inside the house, shooting out towards the front. And they've got this huge, beautiful bay window and the cars are in the parking or in the driveway. And I'm like, could we not have parked that on the street just a little bit down the way?
I always tell everyone, I'm take your cars out of the driveway. It just is a lot seamless, a lot more seamless. Definitely.
Absolutely. And you also don't want your tag in the photo if you're taking it over the front of the house or anything like that. So you want to make sure you move those cars down the street. You've got clear, easy access to the front of the house to take a front shot of the home. I've seen where there's literally somebody sitting on the couch. There's somebody in the bed sleeping. There will be the bag of cat food is sitting on the kitchen counter. I mean, take all this clutter off and move it and put it away or hide in a cabinet or in a closet, or we're not going to photograph it. Or, if the animals are home, move them out of the room when you're taking the photo of that room.
I see it all the time. I'm like, oh, look, there's a cat. Oh, look, there's someone's dog.
Yeah, there's their dog food bowl right there in the kitchen. Move it out just long enough to take the photo.
Fireplaces, if there's a fireplace and it's electronic, put that on.
Yes.
Turn the TVs off. Just simple things that people don't
Turn
really
the fans off.
Yes. Turn the fans off.
Turn them
They're
off.
just a giant spinning blur at one point.
Yes, I've seen that too a lot. So let's get those turned off.
I'm gonna go over my procedure. So when I go in to shoot a house, so an agent says like, okay, here's a house to shoot. I start off with, okay, remove all of the cars from the driveway. The front entryway, make sure that it's clean. I always bring a broom sometimes. It depends on the day. Sweep off any leaves. I get in the house. I tell the homeowner and the agent, if they're with me, we're going to go around. We're going to turn on all of the lights, turn off all of the fans, and open every single blind.
Yes.
The lighting is key. You need the lighting. Even if the house is super dark, just by opening blinds and windows, you can actually get some pretty good light in there.
Absolutely.
That's my first step. Then I go around and, start at the beginning. Don't start at the back end of the house and shoot. Start at the very beginning of the house.
Just like you were walking through and reviewing it.
Exactly. And that brings another great tip up. I see in MLS all the time, people are like crouched down on the floor shooting, or they're way up high shooting down. Shoot at eye level. What people see, your perspective of a home from bottom to top can be different than what your actual eye level is. So these consumers are sitting there looking at your Realtor.com, your Trulia pages, your MLS pages and stuff like that. They want to see what they're going to go look at or going to get for their money.
Yes.
So you want their perspective to be an average height person. Now, for me, I'm pretty tall. So it's like shooting at chest level just to get the right angle. But don't be up high. Don't be down low.
I've seen people lay on the floor so that they can shoot like upward into the kitchen so they can get the lighting included.
Now, if it's a vacant home and it's got really nice hardwood floor, sometimes I'll do an additional shot of shooting across just to show like the grain in the hardwood. But it all depends. It all depends on what it is. But don't crouch. No crouching tiger.
No crouching tiger. That's a good one.
What else? Oh my gosh, there's so much. There's so much.
I can just Google bad MLS photos. Just Google it. Mm-hmm. You would be amazed. And we don't want you to be that agent that ends up on Google under bad MLS photos. Your seller hired you to sell their house. Sometimes sellers might be a little bit difficult, but work with them to get their house sold. And that means presenting the best of their home. So it might take an entire day to do photos and move stuff and all that stuff, but get the job done.
And if you're selling a home in anything over, say, $200,000 or higher, we have a lot of high-end properties in our area. I'm sure you do too. I've seen homes in the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range that are taken with cell phone photos, and they are black and blurry.
And you can't see anything.
Can't see anything. But, I have agents that are homes in the $80,000, $90,000 range that are getting professional photos done. And they go for these listings and they don't get them. But the agent that's not using a professional photographer gets the listing, but you can't use any of those photos for marketing. No. Not at all. To me, those are just a waste. You need to be investing in something. It's all tax write-offs. You people make money. You need tax write-offs.
For $100, $150, why not spend the money so that you look professional as an agent and you're getting all that accomplished? For marketing purposes, to use it for your flyers, to brochures or mail outs or postcards that you might mail out for just listed or just sold, or that $100 is going to come back to you tenfold over and over and over again if you are consistent with it.
Correct. And a lot of photographers will even give you a copyright release, or you have 1 year from time I've transferred to you. You have 1 year to use them for marketing. I particularly, when we shoot any of our listings for our office, I love having those on stock file for me. So if I'm making Canva designs or graphics or anything like that, Facebook
Hey,
cover
Rachel.
photos. Hey, Facebook cover photos, or just the front page of our website. We have full access to change that. So you can use these photos, repurpose them over and over again, especially if it's a really nice listing. I will take that photo and use it for a lot of different marketing purposes. So
Absolutely.
that $100, $125, $150 range, you've just used that $150 and made multiple pieces of marketing. You can't, what can you buy for $150 that you can use multiple times again?
Over and over. I agree on that. Rachel says, hey, back.
What else you got? There's so many other tips. I'm cruising on it.
He said, I can't explain enough to get a professional to do it for you. Another app that I found on this iPhone photographyschool.com was Afterlight, where you can edit your like exposures, and they have, you know, you can change out like dust and light leak overlays. I've seen photos all the time that are in MLS, and you can literally see the dust particles floating in the air.
It's because they don't have the lights on.
You see me rolling my eyes. Take your time. Turn the light on, turn your fan off, all that stuff that we mentioned earlier, and just edit. Hi, Michelle.
That is my
editing. Don't over edit either.
Exactly. So Michelle's my friend over at Exit Beach Realty in Daytona. She is I think she's the office manager.
I don't go to Daytona. Can I have a vacation at the beach somewhere? Somebody?
You need to come visit me and we'll go over to Exit Beach.
Yes.
Michelle, work on getting that scheduled. Work on getting that scheduled. We'll come out and train the office for a day.
Yeah, why not, right?
Get it scheduled. We'd love to do it.
So you don't want to over edit your photos and then somebody look at the house and they're like, oh, I love that house. And then they get there and they're like, well, that's not what the photos showed.
Yes. That happens a lot. I am guilty as charged on that in some form of fashion. There was a house I shot last year for one of our agents, and actually my aunt went to look at it, and she's like, yeah, I saw this beautiful house over here, and, you know, it looked so good in photos, and I got there, and it looked nothing like it. So that, to me as a photographer, I'm like, wow, I'm doing a really great job. But on the other hand, your over edits, people get there, and it's just a letdown disappointment. People fly in for a lot of these things. So they'll fly in to see a home real quick, and, you know, it's not what they saw in their photos. So you don't want to over edit, but you also don't want to under edit.
Absolutely. There's a happy medium in there. That's why you hire a photographer, because they should know where it is. Michelle said we get to come for a vacation.
Yes.
We're going. It's happening.
We're going.
I'm not sure when, because we have convention rolling around, but it's going to happen.
Eventually. We'll get there.
It's happening.
Oh, what else we got? What else? Visco's a really good one. Don't always focus on just the house. Focus on those details. You know, start out when you go into these listings, ask your seller. So what have you guys done as improvements? What's your favorite feature of the home? And photograph those with your phone, or your professional photographer can do it for you. So get those photographed, because, you know, some of those features are things that people probably don't see from the normal photo. So
Absolutely.
Those features that were paid for, show them off.
Yes. If you have a professional photographer, they can do like the tripod where it's higher up and it's looking down onto the house, so that there's more of an aerial view, so they can see the entire property from one photo. Those are super helpful, especially for somebody that's not from the area and they don't know like the surroundings of that house. Mm-hmm. That would help them a lot.
You can get someone that has a drone. Just make sure that they're FAA licensed.
Yes, that's a law here in Mississippi too. You have to have a pilot's license.
I think it's like nationwide now. And then your other thing is so funny thing about that. I used to actually stand on the top of my SUV with my camera on this like 10-foot stick, you know, like those painting rods.
Yes.
Yes. So I was like this.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And then I had my agent on the phone, on my phone. He's like, I'm like, does it look good? Hit the button and you can take the shot.
Like, yes, it looks great. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Exactly.
I love those photos.
I love a drone shot.
I do too. Our iMoto photo representative down here for the coast of Mississippi has this huge drone, and every time he pulls it out of his car, I'm really amazed that this thing fits in his car. And I'm like, how did that just fold up? Because he starts unfolding it and like putting his camera on there and rising it up. I'm like,
oh yeah,
it came out of your car. I feel like that's a Mary Poppins trick.
The one that I have fits in my hand. It's a little tiny baby. I don't know where it is in my office, but I have one for recreational. Somewhere. It's literally like the size of my phone. And it takes really good photos. Because you can use them for recreational purposes, not for commercial.
Yes.
What else is there? There's so many tips about listing photos.
Yes. So we're going to drop in the comments the checklist or get prepared list for getting your photos done. So watch for that.
What other tips do I have,
I mean, I'm sure we could talk forever on tips on what
best time of day to shoot. Best time of day. I personally am that dusk kind of person.
Yes.
So from us here right now, it's between 5 and 8. 5 and what is it? It's 8:30. Yeah, so between 5 and 8. I had to look outside to see if it was dark or not.
Like, is it dark outside? I don't know. I'm kind of like back in my office and I can't see outside. It's okay.
And then early morning, high noon, you have too many shadows on the front from that over the top view.
Yes.
And then, home staging, you don't have to always stage a home, but some simple things as like sprucing up a pillow, fluffing it, karate chopping it, as I like to do in my house. Let the light in, open the blinds, all of that. And, like I said, shoot from the right spot. So put yourself in a corner, put yourself in the center of the room, all different angles. Don't just shoot one. So when you're shooting, don't just go, okay, like here's the living room, click onto the
one shot and you're done.
Move yourself around. Put yourself in the corner, put yourself behind the couch, put yourself in front of the couch and stuff like that.
Yes. I normally shoot like one from every corner. I know it's 4 shots of the same room. At least you have every angle and you kind of completely comprehend what's happening in that room and how you can place your furniture, because that's a huge thing for people when they're buying. Is their furniture going to fit? Well, if you only give them one shot, they can't really determine that from one shot.
Make sure your photos are straight, not, I see this, crooked photos. I'm like, is the agent drunk on an appointment?
What did they have to drink for lunch before they went to this photo shoot?
And that's like when I see all those blurry photos, I'm like, how can it possibly be blurry? The iPhone has autofocus. And when you're uploading to MLS, how do you not see that your photos are blurry?
I think, do they see it? They just don't care?
I think it might just be that, but come on, you're listing $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 property and you're having blurry photos.
Don't do it, people. Don't do it.
What are these people thinking?
Hey, I have this conversation every day. Like, I can't comprehend some people's thought processes. Like the lady today that decided to hit my car and just keep driving. Like that. That happened today. I just
don't get offended, but how can you miss that freaking thing? It's kind of bright and obnoxious. How can you miss that?
The funny part. So I rent my office from State Farm, who's on the other side of this wall. 9 times out of 10, I can hear the girls' conversations. Hey, Ashley, like, I can sneeze and they'll tell me, bless you. That's how close we are. Okay, people?
Y'all need some insulation.
I was like in the office doing my thing, and this girl comes running in from Quest, is like a diagnostic place next door. She's like, the little girl that was just in here hit your car. And I was like, baby, no little girl was just in here. What are you talking about? And she's like, she just hit your car. So I go running out there, and sure enough, the car's wrapped. So the car's not damaged. The wrap is just like scraped.
And you're probably thinking that it was your car, like your actual
my Pathfinder. Yeah, the one that I use on a daily. And that would be like the 4th time this car's been hit in a year. I don't know what my deal is with bad luck or drivers. I'm not quite sure. Like bad juju, I'm not sure. But so I go running next door to State Farm. I'm like, did y'all just have a little girl in here? And they're like, yeah, why? She was in here filing a claim. What's up? And I was like, well, she just hit my car too. File a claim on that. And they were like, you are kidding. Mm-mm. Not kidding.
Are they your insurance provider too?
No, they are not my
I was
insurance
saying-
provider.
that would be hilarious. Get on the phone with the insurance rep and be like, by the way, the claim, we need to add
Right.
another claim to that because
Well, they were like,
okay.
she didn't really hit it. So they all the girls came running out, looked at the car or whatever, and they're like, she hit your car. She's in the parking lot of her insurance agency, hits my car, and drives off. Hit and run in her insurance agency's parking lot. Who does this? I'm still like baffled. So like we had the police come out and do a report because they needed to file their claim. So I gave it to the girls next door. They filed the claim and they called like their backer to like get the claim process started. And the backer was like, are you serious right now? Like, are you for real? For real?
For real? For real?
Yes, we're for real. That happened.
Delightful. Home
It's
tip.
a comedy show, right?
Exactly, comedy show. Another
Every
tip, do capture the home selling points, but don't capture yourself in the mirror.
That. Do you know how many times I see that?
Do you want to know my favorite one? When they're squatted in the bathtub like this.
And you can see them in the mirror.
I'm like, I can see your arm. Seriously. Then again,
and your phone.
Now, bathrooms are really difficult to capture. I completely agree with that. There's times that I will capture myself in the mirror and edit out because it's really difficult with some of these bathrooms.
Yes.
But definitely that's something.
I have seen so I'm in all these groups that I mentioned earlier. So people are posting oh my God, do y'all see this? And there will be pictures of a bathroom or a bedroom. And there's literally dirty underwear in the picture. And I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't move that either, but I wouldn't take the photo at the same time. Mm-hmm. Just some things don't need to be shot. Yes. That would be one of them, y'all. That's one of them. I've seen them. We were discussing before we went live that you had one that had handcuffs in it, or I've seen one that's had sex toys in it. Again, I'm not exactly going to move it, but I'm not going to shoot it either.
Exactly. There are times that you just have to skip over a room.
I mean, let the buyer come and find out for themselves.
And here we go with the great tip, buyer beware. Start with your MLS photos. So what does your MLS allow? 50?
That is a good question. I take a lot of photos. Photos.
Because I was doing some search over in your area. And I'm like, there's only 14 photos on some of these. So I'm not sure with your guys' association or if it's just agents in your area.
No. I know that even my photographers know I want them as many pictures as I can get because Zillow algorithms work off of 21 photos or more. The more photos you have, the higher chance you're...
Which is interesting because there's a lot in Gulfport that has 14 photos. It just might be the agents. But we're allowed a maximum of 50. So our MLS matrix allows 50 photos. So that gives you a lot of options to play around with stuff. So what I recommend doing is, the average attention span of a person is 1 minute. And, to make a first impression of meeting someone in person, the first 7 seconds are the best time for the first impression. So I recommend putting them all in order as normal, and then duplicating some of the photos in the first 7 photos on MLS. So your first 7 seconds, your first 7 photos kind of plays on that. So your first 7 photos should be the first 7 things of the home, exterior, pool, location, stuff like that. Just things, special features, really good looking photos. So those first 7 are the ones that grab the
your most important.
Your most important, the ones you want to grab attention with. Because, there's thousands of homes available on the market now. What makes your home that you're listing stand out? So you're going to want those first 7 and then start after number 7 at number 8, start your entire set. And you can replicate the photos. You can go in and add those 7 back into the normal set. But like I said, those first 7 are the ones that you definitely want the best photos with.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else you got? Lighting, big thing. Move around, use photo editors. Camera Plus is another good app. You can shoot in Camera Plus if you wanted to. One of my favorite sites, we'll cover it. I'll let them know what I use.
You're going to release your secret?
I'm going to do it. We have a good following on this. I'm going to release the secret of what I use.
We're doing it.
So, and I was talking to Kathy Dooley about it the other day, and I'm like, she's like, of course you know this website. I'm like, I've known them for a long time. Before they were even the company that they were another company. And I'm like, this is the best fun. So for me, I shoot all of them. And, there's days that I'm shooting 3-4 houses a night. And then I'm like, okay, my editing's going to take forever. So there's this great website called boxbrownie.com. And I'll put it up on the screen.
He told y'all.
I told you.
It happened. I mean, sometimes you got to keep secrets to yourself, right?
I know.
No, we're just kidding. We share everything.
Wait, yeah. So boxbrownie.com. Box Brownie is a place that you can send your photos out to be edited. So they're super inexpensive. Let me pull up their pricing list because I know they're.
Isn't it like $3 or $4 a photo or something for some of them?
For some of them, yep. And the pricing has changed a little bit because they're getting a little more more people in there. 24-hour turnaround is my favorite, but I've learned you want a teal tip? Here's my teal tip. There's a little chat window. And if you put in the chat window that your client needs them ASAP, they can get them turned around faster than normal. They'll put them in priority line. So I pretty much don't tell Box Brownie, but every one of mine get put into priority. Don't tell them. Don't tell them because I put every one of mine into priority.
Of course. Well, sometimes I know our MLS, you have to have photos in there within 7 days. However, you don't want to put something in MLS with no pictures, because as soon as you enter an MLS, it flushes out to all the, buyers that are interested in that criteria. Well, if you send it out with no photos, they're not going to want to look at it. They're going to, why do they have photos? Why, do I really want to look at it? Is there something wrong with it? Why did they have photos in place? So sometimes you get a listing at the last minute and you go to this listing appointment. They're like, well, let's sign the paperwork and you need photos done right away. Well, a photographer might not be available right away. So if you need to get pictures in the meantime, boxbrownie.com can help you with that.
Correct. And that's a great tip. That's a great point that you also did bring up. Save your MLS as incomplete. Do you guys have that option?
Yes.
Save it as incomplete, Don't put it out there because the second you hit that button, IDX feed starts going.
Yep.
Second I hit it, click, all over to the 50 million websites. I learned today Realtor.com is one of the fastest ones. It refreshes their IDX data every 15 minutes. That was what was brought up at convention today. And, within 15 minutes, that's on Realtor.com out to thousands of home buyers. But guess what? They're not going to see it because they're these sites that don't have photos. They're going to try to push them towards the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, the Zillow algorithms work off of 21 or more photos. So if you have 21 photos, your house shows up higher than ones that have 10 or 12 or 14 even. The more photos you have, the higher priority you go on those search engines. So
start with your save as incomplete and don't send it out until you have your photos. Now back to Box Brownie. So Box Brownie for a normal image. So it's just a normal image. You don't want anything special. It starts at $1.60 per image. So you can shoot them with your phone. You can shoot them with your camera. A lot of these parents have the DSLRs. Yeah, they're not as good as a professional, but they're pretty good. So you take that DSLR photo, upload them to Box Brownie. It's $1.60 per photo. And they do the sky swap outs. So if it's a really dingy day, they can make it look like daylight and they can put a beautiful blue sky in it. Exactly. My favorite thing that they do with image enhancements, you do have to ask for it though. If there's a TV, they will take the front of house photo that's in the, when you submit your order, they'll go through and find the best photo, like if it's a front of house or if it's a pool or something, and they'll actually take that photo and put it in the TV. Have you seen that in MLS photos?
Yes.
I love when they do that.
Yes.
So it's something you do have to ask for. It's no extra cost, but they can do that. They also do the grass. So if the grass is dead, they'll edit the grass so it's green. Just make sure when you're doing that you make sure that they edit the grass on every single other photo.
That would be helpful.
There's times I see an MLS, I'm like, oh, look, it's beautiful green grass. And I click to the next one, I'm like, that grass is brown.
Just kidding.
My people ain't going to like it.
It's been floating around on social media, and I think this was such a fun idea. It was the MLS photos for a property. I think it was like in New Jersey or something, where they had somebody in the T-Rex costume in the entire like house. Like I thought it was hysterical.
I have one of those.
He's like, yes, I have one of those.
We do. Our chili cook-off booth was Jurassic Park.
Yes. So it was like floating all over social media that they did this whole entire photo shoot with the T-Rex in the house. And I was talking to, I think it was Kathy Dooley or somebody somewhere in Alabama that said that agent did it where they were at, and it like became such a hit, it ended up being on the news, and that agent got a ton of business from using this Jurassic Park dinosaur in their listing photos.
They're like $69 on Amazon, and you can get them. They have a teal dinosaur. We just couldn't order that when it didn't come in time. So we have the
teal dinosaur. What are we doing, Frankie? We need this.
Is that how we're gonna roll into convention on Fun Night?
Yes. Let's do it.
Bouncing out.
Yes.
And then so Box Brownie, your $1.60 regular image enhancements. They do the sky swap. My favorite one, what I really send out for them, just because of time. For me, it's a time issue. Day to dusk. Day to dusk photos, they will take, you shoot a normal photo in pure daylight, and they will flip them to those twilight dusk photos.
I love those photos.
Professional photographers will charge you a lot of money for them because they take a long time to do. I've seen upwards of $50 for one photo in our area. I don't know if the photographer community is going to freak out at me or something right now.
You're going to be in so much trouble, Frankie.
You got to remember, I'm connected with all these photographers still from previous. I used to do model photo shoots and stuff like that. So what you can do is you can take their bright and sunny, beautiful front photo, send it to Box Brownie for $4, and do the day to dusk.
Shh, we did not just tell people that.
I did not, but you know what? These are my people now. The real estate people are my people, so they got to know the secret. Secret's out. $4 day to dusk. There's like 6 different options for different skies. So there's like an orange one. There's blue, pinks, all of this like a cotton candy colored, and they can do that. Pool shots look beautiful in them. They will actually go in and edit the lights in the pool. You just have to tell them where in the image the lights are, and they'll add in the light stream underneath. I wish I could like flash them up on the screen tonight, but I can't. But the one I had done, it was like a backyard, and they had a pergola in the back, and there were these little lanterns. And I'm like, you know how cool this would be? So I typed in, I'm like, make this photo look really magical and whimsical. I'm like, can you add in like, can you Photoshop the little lights or whatever? So they'll Photoshop the lights, they'll Photoshop the windows, and you know, they come out really good looking. And $4, you can't beat that at all.
Who doesn't want to sit out by a pool at dusk with a glass of wine in hand and enjoy a real life sunset, right?
Exactly.
As long as your kids aren't in the background screaming.
Virtual staging, they provide virtual staging options. Those are more costly. Those are about $32 to $34 each per room. But if you need it done, you can get it done. Floor plans. I have yet to try their floor plan option, but they range from $24 to $32 depending. They do 2D black and white, 3D full color, 2D stuff like that. So 24 to 32 for that, not bad. If there's things that you wanted removed, those range in prices also. 1 to 2 items is $4. I think 5 to 6 is about 8 to 10. So if you wanted a couch removed or whatever to clear out a room, they can pretty much do that.
Makes photography a lot easier, right?
Yes. If you have like a house that needs to be renovated, I'm looking at their website now. They have virtual renovation options now.
Interesting.
Now, it's a little costly. I'm looking at the price, and there's like a sticker shock. Like, you know, you with the ear pods today when I got the message, I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The virtual renovation is about the price of an ear pod. It ranges from $24 up to $176.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I'd be interested to see it. I wouldn't order it right now. They do 3D editing. So if you have Matterport, I wish everyone could afford Matterport, but it's just way too expensive at this point. But those 3D tours are pretty awesome.
They are great.
Development sites. So if you have a developer, you can get development plans done, and they charge per lot to sketch them out. There's all different things. CGI, they do CGI now, stuff like that. Yes, Box Brownie is great. I love using Box Brownie. They're based off of a credit system, so you have to buy credit with them. But like I said, there's no subscription, so you buy credit when you want to use it. You could also probably find someone on Fiverr to do your edits.
Fiverr's great as well.
It is. And I just looked on Box Brownie. So if you sign up as a free trial as a brand new person, they do 3 image edits and 1 Data Dusk edit for free. So if you start a new account, send something out to test it. And they do unlimited changes. So if there's an issue, you can fix it. I like Box Brownie. To me, that's like my best kept secret.
Especially and you just told everybody.
I just told everyone. I got to learn to keep it quiet.
Tone it back. Tone it back.
I'm an open book.
Well, sharing is caring. We've decided this. Yes. Sharing is caring.
Yes. What else? There's so much. Just don't be that agent.
Yeah. I can't say that enough. Don't be that agent.
That agent that does the terrible photos.
I see them all the time. I'm looking at them for like a buyer, an investor or something, and I'm like,
does it really look like that?
We thought that was a good idea. Okay.
And I've been saying all night, professional photographer, but your phone has really good camera.
I mean, the iPhones keep getting better and better with their camera. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Okay, people, when I was a child, which is not that many years ago, repping the millennial group over here, that was the big thing at convention. You're like, what are millennials doing? They don't.
And everybody turned and looked at you.
No, they didn't, because they don't realize I'm a millennial. The one girl at the restaurant's like, you look like you're 30. I'm like, I'm just turned 21. I don't know if to take that as a compliment or an insult, but okay.
Not quite sure yet.
Not quite sure yet. I haven't fully figured out this whole 21 thing. Think about it. When I was a kid, people used to bring in like big professional DSLRs to Disney. I'm only about an hour and 20 minutes from Disney. And they used to bring in these big professional DSLRs, professional video cameras. I rarely see someone in a theme park nowadays with these big Gigantor cameras.
Right.
Because this has replaced it.
Yes. It's replaced a lot.
It has. There was one of the classes. She's like, so I know someone that's addicted to your phone. It's not you. You're not addicted.
No.
You have that. You have that.
Well,
you have that one.
I killed my phone 3 times today and had to attach it back to the charger 3 times, but not addicted.
Because you need the Mophie of the gods.
I put it in my Amazon cart right before the show.
Did you?
I did. Along with the Apple Pencil, because Best Buy here didn't have one. Along with the gimbal, because Best Buy here didn't have one today. I don't know what Best Buy's deal was today, but they did not have what I needed.
Are you getting the DJI Osmo too?
Yes.
That is the best one.
Amazon recommended, and it's prime shipping. So yes.
So she had us write down A through Z down the sheet of paper. For me, it was on my iPad, the techie. And she's like, okay, A to Z, write down one thing for every letter what the phone has replaced. And she gave us like 3 minutes to do it, and the things that we all were figuring out, I'm like, that is true. Like, we're putting banks out of businesses with our phone. When was the last time you picked up a physical map? I don't think I've picked up a physical map in years.
Right, there's a meme that goes around and I love it. And it's like, I was riding with my dad. My dad told me to reach in the glove compartment box and get the map out. And I'm like, whoa there, Indiana Jones. I've got my phone. Like, that would so be my dad. Like, I so remember as a kid, my dad like busting out this map and taking us on road trips and everything. Maps on my phone. I don't need no paper map. I probably couldn't read it anyway.
I don't know.
To be honest.
I don't think so either. For me,
I use my phone for everything, like
payments, the whole trip, my whole 3 days in Orlando. I think I maybe pulled out my card twice. The fact of having a payment on my phone, it's just easier. Dictionary, email, fax machine. There's supposed to be a faxing app out there.
eFax.
Is
it's amazing. You can scan the document and it turns it into a PDF and you can fax it right out from the app.
What? Airline tickets, books. I still buy books. I buy audiobooks too.
See, I buy the book and then I buy it audio because I don't have time to like actually sit down and read it. Like, but I can listen to it while I'm driving, right? Like,
so do I. There's so much. I was in shock on the amount of things that strictly the phone has replaced.
This little itty bitty device has replaced. It's like a computer in your hand and you don't need anything anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's like my alarm clock and it's everything.
And you know my favorite quote from her? It's Crystal Washington. I don't know if you've seen her, but she's a really good speaker. Like, really dynamic, lot of energy, super down to earth, super sweet person. But the one thing is she's like, so, you know, we're not addicted, but how many of you do actually sleep with your phone?
Yep. Mine sleeps literally right next to my head because it's my alarm clock and it, you know, I'm actually working on connecting my phone. One of my sons has narcolepsy, so he sleeps with a sleep mask and stuff. So it's actually, I can set it up to alert me that his seal has broken and I need to go check on him or whatever. So your phone does everything for you. Everything. If it can tell me that he's broken the seal on his sleep apnea mask,
pretty darn cool.
It does everything. So.
And you know, exactly. I keep my phone, like the hotel, when I was at the hotel, they have the little USB ports, which I love. And you know, the phone stayed on my bed the entire time. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not a smart idea. So
no, because it can overheat and catch on fire, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that the thing?
Well, I don't have an Android, so iPhones don't blow up.
Right. Yeah, we can still take ours on planes.
So I go from that session to another session. You saw my post, the one with Cheryl.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Life-changing session with Cheryl. 20 tips for, you know, like burning the hamster wheel, as she calls it.
That happens.
And, you know, one of her tips is take care of yourself, you know, take time to sweat, meaning exercise, schedule dentists, you know, drink lots of water. And then my favorite one from her, let me read my notes. This is crazy. This is what happens when you have unlimited pages. You like spread everything out.
Of course.
Avoid time suckers and notifications. She taught us to shut the notifications off on our phone. Shut off email notifications. I don't know if I can do that yet.
No, but, like, not quite there, right?
Shut off your Facebook notifications, your Twitter notifications, like unplug yourself from that. And, you know, time block a set in the day. So 8 a.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m., or whatever you want to do, check your Facebook only at those times. You know, she was saying she found herself in the office checking Facebook 20, 30, 40 times a day, keeping up with notifications. Time block it. Don't focus so much on those notifications. Shut them off.
See, I'm one of those personalities that I see that little red dot on my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, my phone's got chicken pox. Get rid of it.
And, you know, my favorite thing is, y'all ain't going to die. You ain't gonna die if you don't make
your notifications.
You ain't gonna die.
We're not.
Now, she didn't say it like that, but I think she's from Texas. She says, I'm not gonna die, but y'all ain't gonna die if you shut your notifications off. Take some time. I
actually left my phone at the office today, and I left the office and left it here. It was dead when I left. So, I mean, I couldn't take it with me anyway. It wouldn't have done me any good, right? So I left it here, and it was peaceful without it, y'all. Peaceful.
Mine is like attached to me at all times of the day, on my hip, in my hand. And, you know, I'm leaving the hotel room. I know. I'm leaving the hotel room so long story short, it's in my pocket, in my back pocket. So I'm walking to the elevator, get into the elevator, get downstairs 5 floors to my car. I'm like, crap, where is my phone? So I went all the way back up the elevator.
It was in your pocket the whole time.
Down to the opposite side. I'm looking around the room. I'm like, where is my phone? I put my bag down, look through my bag for 5 minutes, start patting down my legs. I'm like, it's in my back pocket.
It was one of those days.
It was one of those days.
Have you ever been on the phone and said, I can't find my phone?
I think so. I put my sunglasses up here and I'm like, I'm walking. I'm like, I walk outside. I'm like, I need my sunglasses.
Where are they?
Sunglasses.
Yes.
And, you know, I just got a not Facebook notification, email notification. Next week, I have really good notes on the one session with everything like the technology with the phone replacement. She just emailed me the notes. So that's
Yay,
perfect.
fun. Well, that will be next week's session, Thursday. Next Thursday. Holy cow, the Thursdays have flown by already.
They do.
We've done 4 of these already. Like this was just like a random idea. Like, hey, why don't we just go live? Like, I don't.
It was literally like a one-time message. I'm like, you know what? We now subscribe to Be Live.
Every Thursday, let's just do it.
Yep, every Thursday, let's just do it. Accountability. Let's get a countdown to convention. Let me find my app. Countdown.
Oh man, don't remind me how many days I have left to hit the gym.
That's the other thing. This week, like I was doing pretty good on the diet thing. You know, after that last session with Cheryl, jumping back on the diet train. This week was not a good week with the diet train.
Oh man, I tried spin this week.
Playing
y'all.
Oh, I heard.
Y'all, spin class. I mean, the gym was great. It was fantastic. I actually loved the class. But I'm questioning my friendships with some of these people who did not warn me about the spin bike seat. Them things hurt. You hear me? They hurt.
And to think people in New York,
for people with junk in the trunk.
You think people in New York, they pay like hundreds of dollars for these spin classes to be put through pain.
What?
I know. But
the gym here is literally across the street, and it's like $40 a month, and you can take as many classes as you want.
We're 66 days.
Great. Thanks for the reminder, Frankie.
So we got like 60 days to whip our butts into shape, playing lone wolf this week. I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to the hotel room. I'm going to Denny's. I'm getting me a nice cheeseburger, and we're picking up a case of beer.
Yes.
Then the previous night was Buffalo Wild Wings because I got into town. I'm like, it's Tuesday. It's Wing Tuesday.
I saw you went to SeaWorld too. I was a little bit jealous on that SeaWorld adventure.
Lone Wolf at SeaWorld, it was probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Oh, absolutely. It's so much more fun.
It was because I could get in those lines in and out. And then I found this beautiful space for fireworks, grabbed myself a nice drink from the bar, and I sat there.
I saw that it was teal too. I noticed.
And it glowed in the dark.
On that.
And I'm sitting there, and there's a table of like 8 chairs. Someone comes by, and they're like, "Oh, can I take a chair?" I'm like, "Sure, go right ahead." And then
take them all.
Take them all. This couple comes up with their granddaughter, and is like, "Is anybody sitting there? Can we take the chairs?" So I assume they're taking the chairs. Well, they decided to sit with me in my lone wolf status, and we started getting talking, and turns out they're only like 30 minutes down the road from me in the Villages. That's where they live, and their granddaughter's visiting. I'm like, how cool is that?
Right.
I'm all the way in Orlando, which is not that far from the Villages at that point. But for someone super close to be sitting right there, interesting. Deja vu.
Fun.
66 days till convention. I don't know. I still haven't picked anything out. I still got to go suit shopping.
Yeah, that'll be like the day before convention for Tiffany because that's just how Tiffany rolls.
Not for me because I'm going to be like, I need this shade of teal. Here's my color swatch. I need this shade.
This one right here. We have a clearance Dillard's like 45 minutes away. So last year I went to the clearance Dillard's and I found my ball gown for a presidential ball for $35. $35. I mean, I might have had to dig a little bit while I was at the store, but I found exactly what I wanted. It was black and teal, and it was $35.
Can't beat that.
No, but I'm a last minute person. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
So am I, but I'm gonna try not to be.
Every time I attempt not to be, I just become more of a procrastinator.
Because
I learn to live with it.
For me, I'm super particular on like what I want to wear. So the suit is gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be delightful. Yes. Well, if you're going to convention, comment, catch up. We talked about last week. Maybe we'll sit there and do a strategy session in the morning, or maybe dinner. I started looking at restaurants over
I'm glad
there.
you're doing the research. Oh, this is why we're friends.
This is why we're friends.
I do the planning.
Exactly. Where I'm looking, I kind of want to go country for some reason.
Like, let's just do it.
Let's just do it country. There's one that has a mechanical bull. I think that would be fun to get a group with.
Oh, so yeah, let's do it.
Maybe we'll do a live with Frankie and Tiffany strategy session and, go to one of these
bull in the
places.
background. Who knows?
Mechanical bull. They're barbecue food, stuff like that, beer. whatever.
It's
We'll figure it
fine.
out.
Sure, let's do it.
They
Well,
did just open room blocks at another hotel.
I did see that. I did see that too.
Or you could do like we did. We booked at Wyndham, which is right down the road from there. There was only like 2 units left the last time I checked. So check in there. You know, it's pretty inexpensive if you find some people to split it with.
Absolutely.
And I hope to see everyone. You know how many people?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
So I'm chilling with you. You're the convention
fun.
expert. See, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. You're the convention expert.
So
I'm
you're
the
pointing
newbie.
like that into me, like it's the opposite way. I'm like, why is he pointing that way? What are you doing?
That way. I don't still understand this whole camera thing.
It's the opposite, right? Like a mirror. Like, is that what we're doing? Is that what's happening?
I think so.
Direction am I pointing? I don't know. And then there's the lag. So like, I'm just like, whatever.
The lag is because of my internet tonight. Because I'm at the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see y'all at convention. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all for jumping in and joining us this week.
Yes.
You missed us because I saw Dawn comment on there that she missed most of it.
Yep. Don't worry. There's a replay.
Yeah. You can listen to it again.
Again and again and again and again and again.
Yes.
Exactly. Multiple times.
We appreciate y'all joining, and we will see y'all next week.
Have a great week, guys. Have a fun, safe weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Night, guys.
Bye.